The 2-ton stone ball was hooked onto the iron hooks and the prince waved his soldiers' hands to cut the chains, and the huge red cloth rose up with the stone ball and flew towards the thousands of troops in a hurry. At this time, the barbarians did not know that they were in trouble, and the king was so confused by this strange attack. Even the Empress Dowager was confused. She thought that the prince was merciful. Seeing that the other party had no clothes to cover their bodies, he sent a piece of good cloth to make some new clothes. Soon the red cloth slowly descended into the barbarians' army. When the stone ball hit the ground, it created a huge inertia and knocked down countless soldiers who were scared and ran away. The barbarians outside the red cloth panicked, and the trapped people were even more confused. They managed to cut open the cloth and took a big breath, not realizing that their hands were covered in gutter oil. The prince saw that the time was ripe and immediately shot a cloud-piercing arrow that drew a beautiful arc in the air and landed precisely on the red cloth. The fire instantly spread around the area, burning the barbarians to the ground. Immediately after that, the soldiers fired another round of mounted arrows to ignite the red cloth flying into the sky. For a while, the barbarians panicked and were burned by the flames. But soon, inspired by the elite monsters, they regrouped again and attacked the prince's camp like a tidal wave. The army set up a triangular ram formation and all the soldiers held their spears and shields at the ready. Facing a barbarian army with an IQ of 250, they easily disposed of the first group of pioneers who gave away their heads, followed by the second round of close combat. The prince held a sword in his left hand and an axe in his right hand, easily killing thousands of soldiers. The barbarians could not take any advantage of them. Suddenly, a flag was raised and the army was ready to change formation. The prince instantly changed his costume. He had a horse on his back and 2 spears on his back, facing the barbarians who were mindlessly charging as if they were jerking off a skewer. Meanwhile, Beard's equipment was even more advanced. He drove a lion's head chariot forward with a windmill tied to the front of his horse and rushed into the enemy camp without saying a word. Countless barbarians were crushed into pieces of flesh, and he was like the god of death, harvesting heads. As the advantage on the battlefield continued to accumulate, the barbarians were routed. Seeing the loss of countless men, the barbarian king was so angry that he let the innocent people tied up in front of the battlefield as neat shields. The prince had to stop. He couldn't kill his own people, but Beard couldn't care less and drove his windmill towards the people. The Queen Dowager couldn't bear to look at such cruelty. As he watched the people panic, the prince had an idea. The cavalry rushed forward with chain balls in their hands, and in the next second, countless chain balls were flung away and the people were tied up and fell down, exposing the barbarians behind them. Without waiting for the king's reaction, the cavalry fired a volley of shots, killing and wounding many of the barbarians. The cavalry took advantage of the chaos to kill the enemy camp, and the people were all grateful for the rescue. However, the barbarian king had already gone red-eye and was ready to use the ultimate killing move.